Hello and welcome to section 9.3. So in this section we're going to look at solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Alright, so the quadratic formula is very useful. Probably you can solve any quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. Typically when other methods fail, like factoring both sides, that would fail if you can't factor, or taking the square root of both sides. That one fails if you don't have a quantity squared equals a number, although you can make it that way with completing the square. Then you just go on and use the quadratic formula. Typically, I try to factor, and if I can't figure out how to factor in like a few seconds, then I go, okay, let's use the quadratic formula instead. With the quadratic formula, you can get any type of answers, like real answers that are integers or fractions or things with square roots. You can also get complex answers for things that that you have a square root of a negative number. So it basically generates any type of answers for a quadratic equation, right? So let's see how it's used. So the quadratic formula is right here. It's good to have it in front of you. This is, if you memorize anything in math, the quadratic formula is one that is a good one to have in the back of your head somewhere. So it says x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So a, b, c refer to the coefficients of the terms in the quadratic. A is the coefficient of the square term, b is the coefficient of the x, and c is the constant. Notice that you need to have your equation written like this. Alright, so it has to be equal to 0, right? Otherwise you get the signs wrong. Okay, so make sure you put it in that format first. Okay, so let's look at this example. So we have 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 equals 0. It's in the correct format, so we want to identify a, b, and c. We have a is 2, b is 9, and c is negative 5. Right? And then we plug this into the quadratic formula. So we have x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Writing the formula down is helpful in kind of solidifying it in your head, creating those sort of brain grooves that will help your brain remember it, and also in making sure that you have like right in front of you when you're plugging numbers, less room for error. Okay, so we have negative 9 plus or minus 9 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 5 divided by 2 times 2. Okay, so now we simplify. I simplify the radical. So negative 9 plus or minus square root of 81 negative gives positive, so 20 plus 40 divided by 4. Negative 9 plus or minus square root of 121 over 4. Now see if you can do the square root. We can here, it's a perfect square. We get negative 9 plus or minus 11 over 4. Alright, and when you have a perfect square in there, and you get out pops a regular number, then you should continue to simplify it until you get your two separate answers. Okay, so we have x equals negative 9 plus 11 over 4. We do this first. This is 2 over 4, which is 1/2. And the other option with the minus sign, we get negative 9 minus 11 over 4. Negative 20 over 4 equals negative 5. Okay, so we have two solutions. X is 1/2 and x equals negative 5. All right.